G'day everyone, welcome to the Perkins Engineering YouTube channel. Delighted to bring this episode to you today. It's episode 79 and presented to you by ACL, a fantastic company that Perkins Engineering have been involved with for a long time. ACL, for those that don't know, have made performance engine parts for a long period of time, predominantly in the bearing space. So their race series engine bearings used to feature Dad on the box, and they were a fantastic organisation, and delighted that they're jumped on board not only the YouTube stuff but some of the racing we've been doing. So I'm rapt that they're on board, and I'm rapt they've actually given me some clothing too. Perkins Engineering, ACL, so that's excellent. Another quick one, and I finally actually got some of these retro Perkins Engineering Castrol looking caps back in stock, and I've actually now got my own one. When the first round came through, I literally sold out of everything and didn't even get one for myself. So very happy with that. You can find that online, perkinsengineering.com.au. So we have been MIA for a couple of weeks now. Apologies. I've been over to America and had a couple of trips over there, which has been a fantastic experience for me. But now it's back into the workshop and back on with the tasks at hand. And I wanted to talk about chassis number 13, the Peter Brock 1991 Bathurst VN Perkins built Commodore that we're restoring, and it's coming along really well. What I've actually got in front of me, I wanted to sort of run you through a bit of a progress report on some of the parts here that we've been servicing and building and making and everything for that build, and also give a quick update on the fabrication side. So I'll start with the fabrication stuff, and I'll put a couple little photos in over the top as I edit this video. But yeah, the fabrication work is nearly 100% complete, which is fantastic news. The GRM team, led by Squiddy, have done a great job. Mitch is his name, for those that don't play the GRM nickname game. The boys have done a fantastic job. Everything we've needed to do that we've documented beforehand has just about been done. So the last task that I did down there before I went away recently was put the diff housing in the car and check all the rear clearances for the wheels, tyres, diff in travel, roll, bump, everything. As you know, we've put the VN factory rear tubs back in the car, VN quarter panels, and it's a matter of just making sure all of the parts fit, and there's no racy clearances, because the cars need to be a bit more practical these days. So if there was anything that was a bit too tight on tolerance that just didn't need to be, like tyres rubbing on guards that might have happened back in the day, remembering that the tyre profiles have changed a lot. So back in 91, they actually started on Dunlops, although they were sponsored by Bridgestones. And then there was various sizes. So the common 17-inch tyre size now is a 680, but they used to have 650, 640, 660, different steer sizes, drive size tyres. So therefore, then the shoulder profile of the tyre and everything, we needed to make sure that the tyre we're going to use today, which is a Dunlop tyre that's about the only one you can get in 17-inch these days, will fit under the guard. So I'll put those photos up if I haven't already. So then the last remaining couple of jobs are just sort of bodywork related. So the boys at GRM are going to help put the bonnet scoop on the car, and a couple other little fabrication based jobs around the bodywork, and then it'll be coming back to the workshop here. We'll fully fit off the bodywork. If we've got a chance to fit off some of the exhaust and other suspension components, we will, but we'll give you a good look around the car when it's back here in our workshop. So moving on to what I've got in front of me, I wanted to just sort of run you through some of the parts that are basically sitting here on the shelf ready to fit. So I'll come and grab the camera and show those parts to you now. I'll start with some of the interior stuff here. So the pedals, we're pretty confident that the pedals were the original ones from 1991. And we've documented some of this on our Instagram and Facebook when we pulled them apart, some before and after photos. But basically, these parts have been in Ziploc bags now for a few weeks, if not a couple of months. And they're effectively R2F, ready to fit to the car. So I've just pulled them out of the bags now just to show you. So this is the clutch pedal assembly. So basically we repainted this in its black color. We put new DU bushes in here and through the pivot assembly, and we put new grip material on the pedal face, which was Lenishim belt sandpaper, which is period correct for 91. We've got a service rose joint here that goes onto the pull rod for the clutch, and then the original mounting bolts and clutch stop, we'll reuse those. And this is the footrest, which is next to the clutch pedal. So we think, again, that would have been an original item. It's very similar to what was on our VPs. Sometimes they had a bit of grip tape on the pedal face of that. So that mounts to the side of the gearbox tunnel, or transmission tunnel. And that's where your left foot would sit when it wasn't on the clutch pedal. So if we can see a decent photo and that's got grip tape, we'll put some on. But if not, that's an original item ready to fit to the car. The next pedal along in sequence is the brake pedal. So again, the original pedal painted black, as some of the in-car shots we could see of PB91. So this is again got brand new DU bushes in here, and that's a Perkins design and manufactured brake pedal. It's got new grip material here off the Lenishim belt, and we just cleaned up what appeared to be the original boot for the brake pedal assembly, which was an original Specco Thomas part. And it's in really good condition. So it's a gearbox gear lever boot. So we used it for the brake pedal. We've got the fasteners there. That's all ready to fit to the car. The next pedal along, the throttle pedal. So again, this is what we believe was the original pedal assembly, unless we can find a photo to prove it wasn't. But it mounts to the factory holes up on the firewall, and that's, yeah, as Perkins sort of modified them for different, heel and toe purposes. But you can see it's the stocky GM Holden throttle pedal with a couple of racy tweaks to it, and then that's the throttle stop. So that mounts to the firewall. This is a Perkins made part, and that's the throttle stops on this component here. It's been re-zinc plated, got fasteners there ready to go in a Ziploc bag. So that's the pedals ready to fit to the car. And moving along the bench, so this is our fuel collector pot, brand new, fabricated by one of our ex-Perkins fabricators to our drawing. So this is ready to fit to the car. Sorry, take that back. It's not ready to fit to the car because I need to give it one last wash, which is why it doesn't have any dash caps on it at the moment. But that's the Perkins VN fuel collector pot. So that's a really trick bit of fabrication work there. I'd love to say I did that, but I didn't. So that's ready to fit into the car once we've cleaned it up. We had that down at Gary Rogers, making the fabricating the brackets that mount that inside the boot, and we'll show you a few photos of that, or updates on where that sits in the car later in the rebuild. Okay, I've just subbed out the fuel pot so I can talk about the rear anti-roll bar. So that mounts to the diff housing. The mounts are upside down at the moment. They spin back around and it bolts to the diff housing here. And so this is basically ready to fit to the car. But what I wanted to show you, these were the original rear anti-roll bar blades off this car when we stripped it down. So this blade, using a keyway, mounts to the roll bar tube. And you can see this one's been manufactured to have two bends in it to position it further outboard for a drop link mount that would have come off the chassis later when it was a VRVS. But when we're gone back to VN, the drop link picks up inboard from that particular point because it picks up off the factory mount. So we needed to refabricate some of the original straighter 1991 VN1. So that then picks up off the factory drop link mount. So they've been fabricated, ready to be zinc plated. So those ones will end up on our website for sale. Like I said, they're pretty unique for what they are, but yeah, there's subtle little things that people never really realise what changed, VRVS and things like that. So yeah, that's the rear anti-roll bar system and some of the things we've had to do differently there. This is the front anti-roll bar here. So that's been just cleaned up in the lathe, polished up, It was a little bit bent as well, so just straightened it. And then the blades, they mount on this angle on the front, so they come out to the drop link point, which is sort of right next to the inside of the front wheel. So the two blades have been crack tested, re-zinc plated. They look $1 million. They're original Perkins manufactured blades, and these are the mounts for the roll bars. So these actually use the factory Holden roll bar mounts on the chassis rail, which is where those two bolts go. So they bolt up to the chassis rail, and then you'll see those nice little bearings. So they sit across the roll bar around about here. You can see a little groove there, and then the blades sit on the outside, and the keyways are there, and that's how the front anti-roll bar works. Keeping in line with front suspension, the fabricated top hats, they're not fabricated at all, they're machined. These are Harrop versions, which is the original strut top for these cars. So the ones that came off the car were horrendously modified for different camber and caster as it got updated to VRVS Commodore. So put some new bearings in here, and then they'll be ready to fit to the car. And then there's our freshly serviced, ready to fit front struts, which have come up really good. So then also got the brand new wheel guides. These are a Harrop part as well. Harrop's remanufactured these for us. They'll go in here, and they just make the cars look really good when they're in tip-top condition. So really exciting times here, and we're looking forward to getting the chassis back soon and giving you an update on all that stuff. So thanks for tuning in, and look forward to bringing you another episode soon.